Whatever the opinions as to the first origin of a mutual aid feeling or instinct may be, whether a biological or a supernatural cause is ascribed to it, we must trace its existence as far back as to the lowest stages of the animal world, and from these stages we can follow its uninterrupted evolution in opposition to a number of contrary agencies through all degrees of human development up to the present times. Even the new religions, which were born from time to time, always at epochs when the mutual aid principle was falling into decay in the theocracies and despotic states of the East, or at the decline of the Roman Empire, even the new religions have only reaffirmed that same principle. They found their first supporters among the humble, in the lowest downtrodden layers of society, where the mutual aid principle is the necessary foundation of everyday life, and the new forms of union which were introduced in the earliest Buddhist and Christian communities, in the Moravian brotherhoods and so on, took the character of a return to the best aspects of mutual aid in early tribal life. Each time, however, that an attempt to return to this old principle was made, its fundamental idea itself was widened. From the clan it was extended to the stem, to the federation of stems, to the nation, and finally, in ideal at least, to the whole of mankind. It was also refined at the same time. In primitive Buddhism, in primitive Christianity, in the writings of some of the Mussulman teachers, in the early movements of the Reform, and especially in the ethical and philosophical movements of the last century and of our own times, the total abandonment of the idea of revenge, or of due reward, of good for good and evil for evil, is affirmed more and more vigorously. The higher conception of no revenge for wrongs, and of freely giving more than one expects to receive from his neighbours, is proclaimed as being the real principle of morality, a principle superior to mere equivalence, equity, or justice, and more conducive to happiness. And man is appealed to be guided in his acts not merely by love, which is always personal or at the best tribal, but by the perception of his oneness with each human being. In the practice of mutual aid, which we can retrace to the earliest beginnings of evolution, we thus find the positive and undoubted origin of our ethical conceptions, and we can affirm that in the ethical progress of man, mutual support, not mutual struggle, has had the leading part. In its wide extension, even at the present time, we also see the best guarantee of a still loftier evolution of our race. End of conclusion. Recording by Enko. End of mutual aid, a factor of evolution, by Peter Kropotkin.